Hello guys, welcome back to Real Reds Talk. This is your preview for the Newcastle game tomorrow at Old Trafford. Now, before I introduce our guest, there's obviously been some breaking news before we went live regarding Mason Greenwood, and this is the only thing we're going to mention, and that is the fact that he has been charged with attempted rape, engaging in controlling and coercive behaviour, and assault occasioning actually body harm. We as a channel have no further comments on this, so that is it. That's all we're going to say on it. But that is the news that has just broke. It's a sensitive subject. We're going to proceed with the show as we planned. That's all we're going to say. On the show today, we have Sam, Severe, and Aaron. How are we doing, Sam?
Yeah, not too bad. Had a couple of days off work, girlfriend's birthday, so yeah, things are good.
Come on. Severe, nice to have you back on the show. Any plans this weekend? Or
Just football.
Football, I like it. Yeah, it's my only plans, football and beer. Alcohol consumption. Aaron's looking 5 years younger. How you doing, Aaron?
Not bad, man. Look, I feel like a weight's been lifted.
I like it. Good stuff. Before we dive into the preview, guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video. We're three subscribers off 650 at the minute, so let's try and hit that target whilst we're live. And there will be a watch along for the Newcastle game tomorrow as well, so make sure you join us for that. As always, we're going to start off with a bit of trivia. So 26 years ago, the famous Kevin Keegan, if you remember the interview that he did, I think it was with Sky Sports, and he said, "We're still fighting for this title. He's got to go to Middlesbrough and get something." And I tell you honestly, I will love it if we beat them. Absolutely love it. That was back in 1996 in a title race between Newcastle and United. Who won the league that year, and what was the result between both teams in the second to last game of the season?
God, I couldn't tell you the results. I can't remember that.
I'm relying on the boomers here because I was 1 year old, so.
I can't remember the results like at all. Shit.
You remember who won the league? Surely.
96. Is that Blackburn? 96.
No.
Blackburn was 90. Blackburn was 95.
It's the same
95.
season when
we won it in 96.
Yeah.
Okay.
We won it.
Yeah.
But there was a game between Newcastle and United right at the end of the season that was like a massive game.
Yeah, didn't we win that either 2-1 or 3-2?
It was 0-0.
0-0.
Yeah, 0-0. And then we won the game after 2-0. I think I can't remember the team that it was that we played. But yeah, we ended up winning the league. Which player scored a volley outside the box after arguing with a referee? Wayne Rooney. What a fucking goal that was.
I was going to say, we're
goal.
going to question that one.
Nah. Name 5 players who have played for both clubs.
Obertan, there's one.
Michael Owen.
Michael Owen.
Keith Gillespie.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, Keith Gillespie. That is.
Why did Keith Gillespie go there? Do you remember?
Why did he go there?
Yeah. Who went the other way?
Did it? Oh, Andy Cole.
Is it a swap deal? Is it a swap deal?
Yeah.
And what? Nicky Butt.
Nicky Butt as well. Very good shout. Do we have any others that you want to throw in there? Saha, yeah. Was on loan
shit,
there.
I forgot he went to Newcastle, Saha.
Very short. I think he played like 12 games or something like that.
I forgot about that.
Is there more?
So you have said Owen, Obertan, Louis Saha, Nicky Butt, Andy Cole.
Gillespie.
Michael Carrick.
Nope.
Yeah.
Michael Carrick's from
Geordie.
there.
Yeah, he's
Geordie, but he didn't think it.
So
we've got sorry, what?
I thought Carrick was part of the Sunderland Academy, wasn't he?
Yeah, you might be right on that one. I just know he didn't play for Newcastle. We've got Alan Smith. Alan Smith played for Newcastle. Danny Simpson.
Danny Simpson, yeah.
Giuseppe Rossi.
Oh, he went to Villarreal, didn't he? He was like supposed to be the next big thing, and it just never worked out.
Giuseppe Rossi. Ronnie Johnson as well.
Ronnie Johnson.
Throw in there. And Peter Beardsley. So yeah, just a little brain teaser for you there. Let's bring it back to the present. Obviously, Newcastle right now seem like a completely different team. The Saudi ownership is in full flow. They're playing some great football. They've recruited some good players, and they've only lost once this season. They're currently 7-1 at the bookies to make top 4. But I think a top half of the table finish for them and maybe sneak into European football would appease the fans, considering the shit they've had to endure under Mike Ashley and co. So, yeah, Newcastle looking very good at the minute. On our side, United are obviously on this new journey with Eric Ten Hag. We're starting to see his principles integrate into the team, starting to see certain players flourish. And yeah, we've had a few bumps along the way, but promising signs for us. 4 wins out of our last 5 in the Premier League. And if we're to push for this top 4 spot, a team like Newcastle, you would think we have to put the sword to and beat. And they could be considered as competition at the minute where they are in the league table. I think they're only a couple of points behind us, so we need to beat them. Surveyor, just on Newcastle, have you been impressed with them this season? And if so, what surprised you about them?
I was actually surprised. I wasn't paying attention to them, to be honest. And I was actually surprised to see that they kind of like almost crept up under the radar, sort of. And are literally just a point behind us. And I think that's testament to them not trying to overspend, even though they have the money. They didn't go the route that Nottingham Forest went and just bought, silly amounts of players. I think they've bought the right players. And the players seem to fit in with what the manager is doing, from Saint Maximin to the new kid, Isaac or Isaac. I don't know how it's pronounced. Yeah. They also have a very progressive way of playing. And I think that might actually play into our hands, because everyone knows how we like to exploit the space behind behind the defenders. And I think it will work as well. I think our wing backs will be really, really crucial in the game tomorrow. But overall, I've been impressed. I mean, they've done well. I'm not sure. I think they had a draw. Did they have a draw with Liverpool, or did they beat them?
I think. I thought that was they only lost, wasn't it?
They lost, but it was close.
It was
2-1,
close.
I think.
Yeah, it was.
Did he draw with City? Did he draw with City, or did he get beat?
Yeah, 3-3.
Yeah,
drew with
that was
City
it.
3-3.
The drew with City, yeah. So that's really, really impressive. But that being said, Old Trafford has been, whenever they came, the last couple of times they came, we've been there, and we actually outplayed them. So even though they've been good, I think we'll get a result tomorrow.
Yeah, I like the point you make about them not spending stupidly as well, because we spoke about teams like QPR before. We spent a lot of money when they came up, and you saw what happened to them. Nottingham Forest, another good example, spent a lot of money. Seems like they're going to be in a relegation battle, not winning a lot of games. So it's very easy to have a lot of money and spend it in the wrong way, as we know with Manchester United as well, and Everton fans know, and more teams as well. When you look at the recruitment that Newcastle have done, Sam, what players stand out for you?
I think the obvious answer that we're all sort of skipping past is Bruno Guimaraes. I think he's an outstanding midfielder. I think he would fit very well into Manchester United. I was really annoyed that we weren't in for him in any way, because I thought that would be a great player, especially with our midfield lacking in quality at the time. I mean, and we could do it with a few bodies right now. He's a very, very good player. This Alexander Isak could be a quality player. There's a lot of hype around him. Obviously, he's injured for the game, so it's a moot point for this one. But and then Saint Maximin, I believe he's injured. He got injured today, didn't he? So again, another exciting player, puts defenders on the backsides and stuff like that. So he's a very good player. And then you've got Trippier and Botman in the defence. I think Trippier is very underrated. He's very good attacking fullback, great on set pieces as well. And then Botman, I've rated very highly for a long time. Very young, very raw, but I think he's a fantastic talent. And I think
I forgot they bought him as well.
Yeah.
He's really good.
I wanted United to go in for him because I think, what did Newcastle pay for him, like 30 mil or something like that? It wasn't expensive. I was like, why are we not?
For Trippier?
No, for Botman.
Oh, sorry, Botman. Yeah.
I was like, he would have been great centre back for us. But yeah, again, they're sort of 4 players I would say, or 5 players I would say, they stand out to me. The rest of the team, they've got good workhorses in, like what's he called? The guy who used to be a striker, but now he's a midfielder. Joe Linton.
Joe Linton.
Yeah, he's a good workhorse, works hard for the team and stuff, and he's converted to this new position really, really well, and he's played well for them. So yeah, they've got some good players in there. They're not fantastic by any means, but they've sort of got some very, very good talent. And a couple of them I'd take at Man United.
Is there anything that worries you, Aaron, about that tomorrow, whether that be individual players or something tactically, when you look at the talent that they've got?
Yeah, the main thing that stands out to me straight away is that Eddie Howe plays good attacking football. So I don't think he's going to look and sit to defend. So I seen it you've seen it on Thursday night, man. We're still susceptible to being hit on the counter, and that's why I think they could hurt us. Because that's the one thing since Eddie Howe was playing. I was looking at stats, and I think under Steve Bruce, like majority of their time, their players 11, bar the striker, then he was on the halfway line. You know what I mean? They were camped inside, and I think now it's literally just a back four that are like sat in their own half. So yeah, just lapses at the back. But I think we've got enough to beat them. Don't get me wrong. I think we will beat them, but I don't think it's going to be an easy game.
I think our kryptonite as a team is quick transitions and quality counter-attacks. I think we've seen that so many times. And for me, I think this could be a potential banana skin for tomorrow. I don't want to bring negativity into it, but I think it's going to be a really tough game. I know St. Maximum's out, but players like Almiron thrive off them situations when they're spacing behind, as we learned last season at Old Trafford as well in the game there. That was like a reoccurring thing that kept happening, them quick transitions. Under Eddie Howe, they are a high-energy team who have great intensity on and off the ball. They move the ball much quicker, they're more expressive, and obviously, due to the recruitment, have much better quality throughout the team. So, like I said, I'm expecting it to be a really tough game tomorrow, and I think it's going to be a 50-50 kind of battle, but I've been wrong before. So there, from our perspective, how do we impose our threat on them? And without going into your, predicted 11 too much, what players would you put into the side to cause that effect?
Newcastle team has legs. You just talked about Joe Linton. Like that midfield is very mobile. I would like to see. I know this might be a little bit controversial, but I'd like to see Scott McTominay just to match their energy, basically. But I think it would be similar to what happened against Arsenal and what also happened against Liverpool, where that connection between Eriksen and Bruno, when Eriksen fizzes it one time into Bruno, and then he's able to release one of our attackers. So whether that be Marcus Rashford on the left or Anthony on the right, I think we'll be able to find the spaces. So Bruno and Eriksen would be key. The battle tomorrow would be won in that midfield. And I mean, I know with Martial, we don't know if he's going to play, but whenever he plays against Everton and Newcastle, he always has a good game. Always. He either scores or assists, but he always has a good record against either. So hopefully, I'd like to see him play if he's fit. I think he might be a real problem for them. With Ronaldo, you don't get that much mobility. I know he's trying to adapt his game to his new position, but let's see what happens. But then to answer your question, Eriksen, Bruno in that midfield. We'll need that quick transition from them.
And with you saying Scott to match Joe Linton's kind of energy, physicality, would that mean dropping Casemiro then, though, who's been in great form?
That's a tough one as well, because what Casemiro also brings is that he's also very attack-minded, and I realized that when we played against Omonia, like some of his passes were just amazing. Like it's literally he gets in. So, but
shooting's not bad either, Severe.
Sorry,
his shooting's not bad either.
It's not at all. So either way, McTominay or Casemiro is just with the intensity. I don't know if he's ready just yet. Okay. I know Ten Hag is working on him and trying to get him into the team, get him into a rhythm. I won't be mad if I see him play. I just know McTominay has the energy and can match man for man. That's the only reason why I went with McTominay. But if Casemiro's in, I won't be mad as well.
Look, McTominay's suspended, isn't he?
Oh,
yeah. That's a good point.
Shit, I completely forgot about that.
Is.
Yeah.
He is.
More than 5 yellow cards, was it? You've got 6 yellow cards, something?
Yeah. I've literally just looked at my predicted lineup I did earlier, and I've realised why he's not even in the squad on my thing. So I thought that's fine.
So it's gonna have to be Casemiro tomorrow. But either way, we're gonna need that defensive stability anyway. Newcastle are scoring a lot of goals at the minute. Sam, they've scored 9 goals in the last 2 games. how important is it going to be to get Varane back in that side? Well, Varane and Lisandro as a pairing, especially when you consider playing a high line against this opposition.
Yeah, like Varane, Lisandro has been the key defensive pair for us. I think Lindelof's done an all right job when he's come in. To be fair to him, I don't think he's done a bad job at all. I think all of our mistakes have come from lapses in concentration, and I think the more sort of cool heads you have in that team, like Casemiro, like Varane, the less chances of those mistakes happening. I think Lindelof has more of those in him than like Varane and Lisandro do. Obviously, Harry Maguire's got a shit ton of them in him when he plays. So yeah, they'd be very key. I think Marcus Rashford's going to be a key figure, because as we know, he likes to run into space behind defenders, and Trippier plays very, very high. He plays almost like a wing back. Even though they play a back four, he plays very much like a wing back, and he's high up the pitch most of the time. And I think whilst Botman's a good defender, I think the guy who plays next to Trippier is Shah, I think. He plays on his side. I think he could be got at. I don't rate him as a defender. I don't think he's that great. So I think Rashford could have an absolute field day with him. If Trippier's up high, counter, ball over the top, he's one-on-one with him. He's beating him every time. And again, like Severe said, if we get Martial in it, he's going to have a field day with him as well. So I think that's the weak link for United to attack that side, where Trippier comes up high. That's the weak link, get it down there. And like Severe said, Bruno, Eriksen, ball out to Rashford on the left-hand side. That'll be the way to beat him. If we can hit him early as well, even better.
Do you think on the flip side of that though, Sam, say like Kieran Trippier is obviously a seasoned pro, played for England many a times, plays against Rashford many a times. He may adapt his game slightly, whether that comes from the coach or not. Do you think Trippier look at Rashford tomorrow, think he's in good form at the minute, maybe not push up as high as I'm going to do, and maybe keep an eye on the space that's in behind, because that's what they're going to attack?
It's definitely possible, but I think as good as Kieran Trippier is, he's not mobile. He's quick, but he's not lightning quick by any means.
Yeah.
And I think Rashford beats him one-on-one every time. I don't think he's catching him. And if Rashford's in the sort of form he has been in lately, he's got that confidence flowing. He's willing to sort of commit a man and dribble past and stuff like that. So I think he's going to have a hard time. Whether he pushes up or he drops back, he's going to have a hard time either way. And if he drops back, that lessens that attack for Newcastle, because obviously they've lost Isaac, they've lost St. Maxim. So they're sort of light in attack, so they're going to need Trippier to sort of come up and provide that support, which he normally does. And if he drops back, he's just sort of letting United come onto you, which is not the way Newcastle tend to play at the minute. They tend to sort of play possession first. So I think they'll stick to what they know, how they play, and I think that's where we attack. That's the way we get in.
I know a lot of people say, what do you mean it's only John Joe Shelvey? I think John Joe Shelvey's out as well, and he actually always has a really good game against us. Every time I've watched him, he's scored a few bangers against us as well. And one thing that stuck in my head then, I remember the Longstaff. Do you remember that game? When I think it was at St. James's Park, and I can't remember which brother it was. Was it Matty Longstaff or
Matty Longstaff?
It was the younger one.
Yeah,
Matty.
That game just flashed into my head then.
Do you remember when we were linked with Sean Longstaff for 50 million? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
What the fuck was going on?
It was like 3 summers in a row that
I know.
he was linked with him.
Oh god.
He was the next Carrick or something. That's what they were saying.
Shut the fuck up.
Absolutely ridiculous. Aaron, we obviously played Ammonia Thursday night. Do you think freshness is going to come into this at all? Obviously, Newcastle haven't played all week. They've had more training sessions to work on this. They're an energetic team anyway.
I think it's going to be a lot similar lineup, to be honest. So just look at the bench now, and I think who comes in really. You know what I mean? Sancho maybe come in. Sancho came on and did well, to be honest. So, but then again, Anthony came off, and I thought Anthony was playing well. I thought he had the fullback on toast every time. But no, I think it's going to be quite a similar team, to be honest. I think Luke Shaw might start. Obviously, not going into predicted 11 now, but I think Luke Shaw might come back into the starting 11. But apart from that, I think it's going to be a pretty similar team.
Can we just touch on Anthony for a minute? Because sorry, let me just bang this on finger. Because Eric Ten Hag came out in his press conference and he mentioned the fact that he needs to add variation to his game. And obviously Paul Scholes has come out as well and said it's a one-trick pony, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Is there any concerns from any of you guys that he can't adapt his game, that he is a one-trick pony, that he does cut in on his left-hand side too much? Like, just give us your thoughts on Anthony's progress so far.
Yeah. Just going off Thursday, obviously, you were Stretford end as well, weren't you, Nick?
No, I was Alex Ferguson's stand, sorry.
All right. Well, we was attacking Stretford end first on Thursday. Obviously, that's where I was sat, and I was more off to obviously the wing that Anthony was on, and I thought he was mixing it well. I thought he was cutting in. I thought he was taking it down to the byline. Obviously, he was pulling out a lot of tricks, but yeah, I thought he was mixing it well. I didn't think he was too predictable. I thought he was dangerous. I'm not worried, to be honest.
There?
Yeah, me neither. Ten Hag said that in response to a question that he was asked in the press conference. I don't exactly remember what the question was, but I remember him talking about it, and he was just replying. He made that statement in response to that, and he kind of came at the tail end of it. I don't think there's any real. I'm not worried about it at all. I don't understand what Paul Scholes was talking about, because we've seen Anthony go both ways. He can either go, well, that's what he said.
Hey.
But he can cut in on his left and then whip in the cross or take the shot, or he can go to the byline with his right foot. So I really don't understand. And then he doesn't do the same dribble. With Arjen Robben, you just knew it was one thing he was going to do. But with Anthony, there's that unpredictability about him. Also, another thing I love about him is his awareness and his ability to actually scan out the space. So, like against Ammonia, he did it against his goal against Arsenal, his goal against not the one against City, Everton. His ability to sniff out danger, sniff like all the spaces to run into. So he's not a one-trick pony. I really don't understand what Paul Scholes was on about.
To be fair, I saw him putting a cross, or trying to put in a cross on his right foot in that Ammonia game, and it didn't come off very well. I don't know if any of you remember it, but
bro, we've seen people at One Matter putting like terrible crosses and Angel Di Maria. It doesn't mean that they do that all the time. So I don't understand what he's talking about. You see one bad thing and he kind of just overruns everything else.
Yeah.
Even if he is a one-trick pony, mate, I am Robin was, and it was still not stopping it. So if he gets to obviously that level, I don't mind.
The only criticism I have at the minute it's not goal scoring, because he's got the same tally as what Sancho had in the season last season. So in terms of goals are fine, and he's scoring against big clubs as well. I think he's got the ability to beat a lot of wing backs, and I don't think he's doing it enough. That's just my personal opinion. I think he is doing it, but I think that there's more in the locker for him to do it. I think there's more.
I want to see what he was doing on Thursday in the Premier League, because I don't know if it was because it was a lesser club or whatever, but every time he got the ball, he was pulling out tricks. He was skinning him. I thought. I obviously see that in the Prem.
Yeah,
he's still young though, isn't he? What is he? 21, 22?
21.
So plenty of time. The wingers typically mature about 25, 26. That's where you typically see the best, like in wingers. Again, like I'm not comparing him to Ronaldo whatsoever. But do you remember when Ronaldo first came here and how frustrating he was? He was so irritating because he'd beat about 3 players, he'd get to the thing and just fucking push the ball. It just absolutely ruined it. I used to scream at Ronaldo every fucking week because of his lack of end product, and then now best player on the planet. So I think the reason Ten Hag pushed the boat out and pushed the board to get him, because Ten Hag thinks he's got something, or he's got something special about him, and he can develop him and turn him into the potential that we see on the pitch. So I'm not worried. He's played 5 games for us, 6 games for us. Give the boy time. Give him time. Give him time under Ten Hag. Give him time to get used to the league, the system. You'll see it. It'll come good. I'm just hoping it's not another nanny where you see glimpses of absolute brilliance and then glimpses of absolute frustration, and it's just never any consistency. And I loved Nani, I did, but fucking hell, every game you were like, I don't know what's going to happen. He could just do something ridiculous and then other times go missing. So, but yeah, I don't have any sort of.
If I could just add something on Anthony really quickly in comparison to like Nani or Cristiano Ronaldo. Those 2 players had you know, every now and then they'll go off and do their own thing. They
Yeah.
beat a man and then just. Anthony is very. You could tell that this guy listens, right?
Sure.
If he's not going to beat a defender just because, you understand? So it's always when he sees there's no play, he turns back and passes. And he's one of them ones. I think he's a lot more intelligent than we give him credit for, in terms of what the decisions that he makes. So Nani sometimes just gets that whole thing in his head and he just dribbles people for fun. But that's not Anthony. I don't think he does that just for fun. Obviously, this is a person who's played less than 10 games since he came.
Yeah.
So he obviously needs time to adapt his game, to understand how the game here goes, before we can see him just, dribbling everyone.
It's United though, severe, so they have to be good immediately because we paid for him. So they have to be good, or they're a flop. You know what I mean? It's just.
But the thing is, though, that's what I mean. We're talking about a one-trick pony and saying, he has to be good. He scored 3 goals already. For me, he's already producing. So just let him keep doing what he's doing.
And the main point in this for me is I think he's certainly got the right personality to deal with that.
Yeah.
I love his mentality. That's one thing that's underrated about him. He just looks solid mentally up top.
Yeah.
And I think the partnership that he can develop with Dalot on that right-hand side, which we've had lacking for so long, fucking long, that has been non-existent. Everyone knows who's watched United over the past 10 years. That left-hand side has been our strongest, and if you shut that down, it shuts a lot of our play out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you get teams. That's why City is so good, because they can just switch it, and they're equally as impressive on either side, wherever they're coming from, and that's what we need. We need variation across the pitch.
I like the quotes that came out from him as well in the week, when he was saying that he's trying to be like a sponge off Ronaldo. You know what I mean? Just learn as much as he can.
Yeah.
Because we've seen that interview last season where Ronaldo said, "Oh, young players don't listen," or whatever. But he's got the blueprint. I think Anthony even said that in his interview, that like he's the blueprint of how to be successful. So
if you're gonna learn off anyone, fucking hell, you want to learn off Cristiano Ronaldo, don't you? There's no better.
That's it, man. So just let him keep doing what he's doing.
Yeah. If you're at United and you're a winger, Cristiano's the perfect fucking person to talk to, in my opinion. Let's do some quick fire questions then, lads. In relation to the game tomorrow, will both teams score tomorrow?
Yeah, because we can't keep a clean sheet for shit.
No, just to oppose you guys.
Will Anthony Martial start tomorrow?
Nah, I don't think he's fit.
No.
What did the manager say? The manager said it was touch and go. Like
50-50.
we're still waiting to see 50-50. Yeah. So that tells me that if he deems him fit, he's ready to risk him.
Yeah, he did against Everton, didn't he?
He did, yeah. I think he might start and then bring Ronaldo in place.
Yeah. We have Newcastle, Spurs, and Chelsea in our next 3 games. How many points do we take from that?
6.
Aaron?
I
said we have Newcastle, Spurs, and Chelsea now.
I answered. I said 6 points.
It's severe though. Did you answer severe?
Yeah, I answered. I said 7.
Sorry, I didn't hear the audio. The audio didn't come through my thing. Did you answer as well?
Yeah, I said 7.
Oh, right after Sam, it just went quiet in my headphones. I couldn't
yeah,
hear
well, I heard some, but I didn't hear Aaron.
Yeah.
7.
My bad. Will Guimaraes score tomorrow in very good form?
No.
I think it'd be somebody else. I think it'd be like a Trippier free kick or something. I think that's what.
Yeah, or one of them. What's Callum Wilson? One of them.
Yeah.
Them poachers kind of goals. I don't think
will it. Someone random like
that. He scored when we beat them 4-1. He scored the first one, I remember, and just silenced Old Trafford for in the first 20 minutes, and then we just came back.
I feel like whenever we play Newcastle in recent memory, they always score first. They always go.
Yeah.
They did it, didn't it? When Ronaldo came back, didn't it? They scored first as well. Again, when Ronaldo came back.
Yeah. From each of you, there's a different selection as well. Give me one player to keep an eye on who you think the danger man's going to be tomorrow. The standout player.
For Newcastle?
Any team.
For Bruno Guimaraes for Newcastle. And then for us, Eriksen, if he's up for it.
Yeah.
I'll go Almiron for Newcastle.
I agree.
Almiron for Newcastle. and I'll go. If Martial starts, I'll go Martial, just because he always has a good game against them.
Yeah. I think Joe Linton's going to be a problem tomorrow as well physically. But I know you mentioned before about that, but I think in the box when they've got set pieces with Trippier, like Sam said, I think he's going to cause problems.
They've got legs, man.
They really have. Let's do the predicted 11s. I think this is going to be a slight difference, so it should be interesting. I'll just put mine out there first as always. I'll go with De Gea, Dalot, Varane. I'm hoping Varane is able to play, but it seems like he rested him against Ammonia, put him on his own kind of separate training thing. So I think Varane will be ready for this with Lissandro. I think Luke Shaw starts at left back. At midfield, I was looking at, I was thinking, will they change it again? Like, because Newcastle do have a good midfield, but I've gone with Bruno, Casemiro, Eriksen, and I think Anthony, Rashford, and Martial. I think, like Samir said, I think he'll risk Martial at the top. Aaron, do you want to give me yours?
I've gone, obviously, De Gea in there. Dalot, Varane, hoping that he's going to be back. Martinez, Shaw, Casemiro, Eriksen, Bruno, Anthony, Rashford, and Ronaldo.
I think Ronaldo's going to start. Sam?
Mine's the same as Aaron's. I don't think Martial starts. I would put Martial in, but I don't think he starts. I don't think he's 100% yet, so I think he starts Ronaldo.
And Samir?
Exactly with yours.
And then?
Exactly with yours.
Oh, exactly. So the audio keeps cutting.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't think.
Sorry about that. Yeah, no, same thing as you. Dalot, Varane, Martinez, Shaw, because I think he's won his place back.
Yeah.
Casemiro, Eriksen, Bruno, Anthony, Rashford, Martial, I think.
Yeah. I hope that's the lineup because I think we get a win with that. I do. Score predictions. Who wants to go first on that one from me? Score prediction. I don't know what to think on that.
2-1 United.
I was going to go 2-1, but I'll go 3-1.
2-0. I don't think they'll score, and I think it will be at least 2-0. We always score more than 2 goals. Well, not always, but whenever Newcastle has come over the past couple of years, it's always been a high scoring game for us. I think it will be the same.
I'm going to be a bit of a negative
Here we go.
here. I think 2-2. I think, like I said, I think it's going to be a banana skin.
I think they'll score first.
Yeah, I agree.
I
agree.
Yeah. It's going to be very 50-50, and then Newcastle have got their threats. We've obviously got ours. So I see a draw tomorrow. I obviously hope we win. But yeah, do you have any final thoughts before we conclude the show, guys? Anything you want to say on the game tomorrow?
It's going to be a tough week, isn't it? Because we've got Newcastle, we've got Spurs, and then we've got Chelsea, all in the space of like a less than a week, is it? Or just over a week or something? Yeah. So tough run of games.
Who do you think, if we're going to lose to one of them teams, who's it going to be that we'll lose to?
It's going to be Spurs, isn't it? Because Antonio Conte is just going to absolutely brick wall us and then score a lucky goal. I can see it fucking in my eyes now.
They're grinding out results at the minute, Spurs.
1-0 wins and stuff. That's what they're going to do. I can see it right now.
It just kicked off now, actually, Spurs, aren't they? Against Everton. So it'll be interesting to see how they get on. Because Everton, obviously, as we saw on Sunday, are not a bad side themselves. So I think Chelsea will be the banana skin in that game, in that set of fixtures as well. I think, got players who can hurt you.
Chelsea don't worry me, I'm not worried about that game.
I think once Potter starts working his magic and starts getting them playing to that standard, to his brand, I think they will be dangerous.
They need to get a striker in. That's the problem with Chelsea. They don't have a focal point at the minute. Because
they've got Aubameyang.
Yeah.
I don't rate Aubameyang. Sorry. Don't rate
What,
him.
you don't?
No, I don't think he's good.
You don't rate his personality? Or
his personality-wise, he's a dickhead anyway, but that's beside the point. That's nothing to do with his footballing ability, is it?
He's a striker.
He gets goals everywhere, man.
Yeah, man. He's a goal scorer. It's natural. I think that's the game where we drop points. I think I can see us beating Spurs. From the way Arsenal played against Spurs, not that we're as good as Arsenal, but Ten Hag and Mikel Arteta have a similar
that kills Severe to say that, doesn't it? That kills you to say that.
It's reality where we're at, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've made my bed with Arsenal. I know. I've accepted reality, even though it hurts so much.
Yeah.
I hate those guys. Man.
But we're the only team to beat them this season.
Yeah, we are. But like the point I was making was Arteta and Ten Hag have a similar style of that total football thing where they do, and Tottenham just had no answer to that. Like all they were relying on was to break. Do you understand? I think Conte isn't the same Conte from last season.
Doesn't seem
because
like
they
it.
tend to, they're just grinding out results. Like you can only do that for so long. Like it's a big ask to do that every single game.
To play the way Spurs are playing with their front line is criminal. Like you've got a fantastic front line and you're playing like that. Like
it's not
winning games,
sustainable. Yeah. No, I know what you mean. They've got Harry Kane. He's always going to be a threat. They've got some. It's one of them ones, but I think I'm quite confident facing Tottenham. It's against Chelsea that I've got my doubts.
I think we beat Chelsea.
You think we beat him?
Yeah, I think we beat Chelsea. I think we get stonewalled by Tottenham though. I think it's going to be one of those games, frustrating, not be able to score, and then they'll get a stuffy goal near the end. I think that's what's going to happen.
I think in general, injuries are going to play a massive part over the next couple of months because you started to see Chelsea now. Reece James is out until after the World Cup. Kante's out until after the World Cup. If Tottenham got an injury to Harry Kane, who notoriously gets injured every season, massive going to miss him. They're absolutely fucked. And as well, if Jesus gets injured for Arsenal, I think they'd be fucked.
Yeah, do you know what? Me and my mate that went to the match on Thursday were talking, and he was saying, I think Arsenal might push it all the way to the end of the season. And I said the same thing. Jesus gets injured. Have you got Nketiah?
Yeah, but the thing about Arsenal is that they don't fully rely on Jesus. Like they've got Martinelli, but his work rate is really, really good. But they've got goal scorers from Martinelli. Like the whole team is playing really well. The only problem is last season they didn't have that many competitions to play, so it's going to take a toll this season. They're going to have now they'll know what it means like to play on midweek games and Premier League games as well, and they don't have that much of a squad depth at the moment, so they might struggle. I think
our squad depth is me.
Yeah,
same with us. If Eriksen's out, we're fucked. If Varane's out, Lindelof's done all right. In fairness to him, since he's coming, he's not done bad. But I don't think he's really been significantly tested yet against like a dominant striker. Think
though, like if Martial's obviously not, his fitness has been like up and down. If Ronaldo gets injured, our only striking option is Marcus Rashford. That's it.
He's horrible down the middle.
That's all we have.
I don't mind him.
He's awful. He's awful down the middle, man. He's terrible.
I disagree. I don't mind him. I don't mind him.
Sam, I have to disagree with you there. I have to disagree. He might not be very good at holding up the ball and all that, but he's very instinctive, and that's what you need. That's all I need from Rashford. I don't want him to think. I want him to get the ball.
Let's do it on the left.
Put it on the other.
On the left, it's great. On the left, he's fantastic.
But that's what he did against. That's what he did against Newcastle.
Don't make them runs.
That's what he did against Liverpool.
Like majority of the time, all right, against Liverpool, but it's like down the the runs he makes in on the left hand side. I don't feel he makes the better runs through the middle. I feel like he gets clogged up at his feet. You know what I mean? Like them tight games where, against Arsenal, Liverpool, that'll come at you. But a team in a low block, I feel like his touch and that is horrible.
Yeah.
I feel like on the left hand side, I think on the left hand side, he's one of the best at making that run from the inside.
I agree. When he's in the middle, he snatches at chances. Like he gets the ball and just smashes it against a defender. He doesn't make a run and cut in where he's got the space. He just smashes it.
He doesn't have that short movement, them angles, as a striker. When it's a low block, he's better at getting in behind.
Yeah.
Like when it's an open game, when it's congested. I don't want him.
Go on.
Marcus Rashford running onto a ball, honestly, is probably one of the most dangerous things that you can imagine. Running onto it, not like receiving it, and then I understand your point, like in terms of if he receives it and then has to turn and all that. But running onto the ball, he's dangerous. Like he beats anyone for pace, basically. And I think we've seen that already this season, like a couple of times against Arsenal. We could have had like 4 or 5 goals from him assisting or from him scoring. So I don't think it's such a bad thing if we have him as a lone striker, to be honest. Yeah. And if he has, look at the assist he gave to Martial. If he has someone who's next to him like Jadon Sancho playing on that left, I think was it against Leicester?
Yeah, when
Sancho scored. Yeah, and then it was Sancho, and then the assist he gave to what's his name, Anthony for Arsenal. Like he's flying under the radar. I think people, he had a really bad season he had a really bad last season, and everyone seems to think it's the same Marcus Rashford. It's not.
No, I think he's improved. He's definitely improved, but he's not a number 9, and I'm sick of seeing it every time he plays down number 9. It's frustrating. When he's on the left, he's one of the most frightening players. Like he's fantastic. You hit that ball, like you said, hit that ball over the top. Yeah. He's frightening. Yeah. But just not a number 9. I can't do it again.
One more thing. He's the one. Ever since Marcus Rashford faced up with Demichelis, we never heard from him again. Do you remember
that? Was great.
He said him back to Argentina.
Yeah, we just never heard from him again. That was the last time I saw him.
Martial did that to Skirtle, did he, on his debut at Liverpool? After that, Skirtle fucked off from Liverpool. Just did him.
Yeah. But that's the only thing with Rashford that worries me. Like, obviously, I know he's got like, I've seen a stat about his goal involvement this year, and that it's already miles better than last year. But just worries me, like you say, against Arsenal and that, when we've got room to play and he's got room to run. But if we had him say like 5 games and 3 of them were against teams in the bottom half that sit back, I'm just worried about. He's not very intricate, is he? He's more like you say. He's just get the ball and he'll get on the end of it.
Off the cuff. I think the thing to kind of just look at straight off the bat is just he's better than last season, which obviously I know people say, well, it's not much of an improvement because last season he was down in the dumps. He was one of the worst players, but Ten Hag has significantly improved him, got him back to an acceptable level at the minute, and he can only improve on that. So I'm happy for him to continue, whether that's up top or if it's on the left hand side. He's making an impact regardless. So I'm happy with him.
I just want to see players improve. Like even if it's gradual each season, you just don't want to see him go backwards.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it just me, or does it? He's like a little bit of self-belief. Like he doesn't have that sort of edge. And if he just starts believing in himself again, do you remember the game against Bournemouth? Was that last season or the season before, where he just ripped? Yeah, he just rips Nathan Ake and someone else on the right wing. Like that was Marcus Rashford with with self-belief. Like that's all he needs to have right now, because even the goal, the clear goal he missed against Omonia, that was in his head. Like he could have actually netted that if he was confident enough. But he just needs to get back that belief going. But I think it'll come.
Yeah. The game against Leipzig as well was another one where he came on, scored a hat-trick and electric.
It's like last season he didn't look like he was enjoying it. That was the main thing. He just every time he was playing, he just didn't look like he wanted to be on the pitch.
Look moody, didn't it? Really moody.
I want the look in his eyes. You remember the penalty against PSG that he took? The fucking absolute cold steel fucking. That's the Marcus Rashford I want to see.
That's coming back. That's what I feel like is coming back. I'm seeing him now. I'm watching him. He's like even at Old Trafford on Thursday, he had this like physical presence about him. He just looked like he was up for it, and it's the body language you can tell a lot of things from body language and confidence. So long may it continue. The last question we'll ask you before I end the show, guys, is how are we feeling about top 4 at the minute? Have you changed your mind? How do you see it shaping up? Because obviously there's certain teams coming into form, certain players getting injured. Obviously City, I think we'd all agree is a shoe-in, right, for the title at the minute, I would say. Arsenal close competitors, would you throw them there? What about Chelsea, Spurs, United? How do you see that shaping up?
Spurs have fallen off, haven't they? Like at the minute, I was expecting Spurs to do a lot better there, but they've got, like you said, they're grinding out results, so they're winning games. But I think that only has a short shelf life. Eventually, they're not going to score, and it's just going to wear out its welcome. And then Conte's going to lose his shit, and then he's going to leave, which is what he does typically. I don't think United finish in the top 4. I would love to be proved wrong. I think we get 5th. But I think if we develop a style of play and improve players and take a step closer to something, I'm not upset about it. It'd be great if we won a cup as well. That'd be great. But I don't see us finishing in top 4. I think the top 4, I still stick to the top 4 that I had at the beginning of the season. But yeah, I'd love the United to upset the apple cart and get in, but I don't see it happening.
Aaron?
I think we made top 4, yeah. I feel like Chelsea, I don't see Chelsea making it. They've got a good squad, but I just feel like it's kind of, don't know, it's kind of just thrown together, you know what I mean? And especially under Graham Potter, I don't think that's probably the way he's going to play. I think there's going to be... Yeah, I think over the next few seasons that squad's going to change quite a lot because I feel like they're just don't know, a bit midfield heavy, but I don't know. It's hard to describe, but I just don't really see the system, like the players that fit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's kind of like
freestyle.
Yeah, it's kind of like we were when we were just buying random players. And then I think Arsenal make it. I think City are going to win the league. I don't know if Arsenal go to finish second. I still think they're going to fizzle out. I think they'll make top
they'll get top 4. Yeah,
I mean, they'll make top 4. I think we'll make top 4, and I think Liverpool will still make the top 4. It's only 5 points. It's only like 4, 5, 6 points that'll be made up. Once they start firing.
They've done it before, haven't they? In that pandemic season
what I mean.
when they had loads of injuries and then they came back. I believe the same thing as well. I agree with you. Severe?
I don't think we make top 4. I'm very happy about what I'm seeing at the moment, but I have to be realistic, and I don't think we'll make top 4. I think there will be a lot of lessons for Ten Hag to learn this season. We're still going to get 1 or 2 heavy defeats where he'll have to, he'll have to go back to the drawing board. I think 5th is realistically the best position that we'll make. However, if we do make top 4, it will just be out of luck. It will be out of one of these teams getting some crazy injuries, exposed, maybe like Harry Kane gets injured, and then we capitalize on some clubs' shortcomings. But realistically, I don't see us making top 4.
Yeah. Well, if we're going to make top,
I think we have a higher chance of making the Champions League via Europa League.
Yeah.
Via tournament than making the top 4.
Yeah, you're probably right. But if we need to make top 4, we need to beat Newcastle tomorrow, obviously, which is 2 o'clock kickoff. We'll be live an hour before kickoff for the live watch along. Make sure you come and join us for that. Thank you for watching, guys. Subscribe to the channel and like the video if you're excited for the game tomorrow. And yeah, if you want to follow us on social media, all the handles are at the bottom of the graphic, or just head to the description link. Am I missing anything, Sam, before we head off?
No, watch along, and then all the usual content next week. So yeah,
busy week. Very busy week. 2 games, 2 previews, breaking news shows. It's it's going to be mental. Thank you, lads, for coming on. Appreciate your analysis as always. And yeah, good. Let's go smash Newcastle tomorrow. Peace. Take care, lads.